You may have noticed the field of Republican presidential candidates is expanding, with 2 more people expected to join the race for the White House this week. 8 hopefuls made a stop in Iowa over the weekend, introducing themselves to Republican voters on Saturday. Former President Donald Trump was the only candidate not at this event, but his former Vice President Mike Pence was there. He's expected to announce his campaign on Wednesday.
Contrast the Democrats' agenda of decline and decay, Republicans have to offer a positive vision of the future grounded in conservative principles.
Well, former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie is also expected to announce his run for president this week, and multiple reports have North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum entering the race as well. So what does a crowded GOP field do for former President Donald Trump's chances?
Plus, Republicans have some new ammunition against the current president. Dr. Michael Adams is a political science professor at Texas Southern University. He's live with us this morning. Dr. Adams, good morning, and thank you for joining us. Let's begin with this. You know, there are some new concerns about President Biden's ability to handle a second term. He'll be the oldest president, and you saw from last week he had a problem tripping and falling. Tell us what that does to voters thinking in terms of him and his age right now.
Well, to be honest, Jose, I think age, cognitive capacity, physical fitness, and even to a certain extent moral fitness should be all our concerns that we should have as voters. However, the president slipping and falling over a sandbag, I don't think that tells us much about either of those character traits.
So you have 2/3 of Americans who say they actually don't want to vote for Biden or don't want him to run in 2024, even some Democrats agreeing with that. Do you think he'll get a challenger in his own party?
Well, it seems as though the party has rallied around the president, and they're very supportive. We have Robert Kennedy Jr. out there. And I think barring anything for what we call in political science an October surprise, I think the president is in good shape. He'll be at the top of the ticket for the Democrats in the general election.
Okay, let's turn to Mr. Trump right now. How will an increasingly GOP crowded field impact his chances? He's still the front runner for the nomination, but others are hoping that that could change.
Yeah, of course, Mr. Trump right now currently has the pole position, if you will, but he has a base, and if you could talk about the MAGA crowd
against the forces of anarchy.
Yeah, he has a base within the Republican Party that I think that he's in the double digit in terms of the polls and lead. So he's in a good position, and we didn't see him over the weekend, and really he doesn't have to show up to these debates because again they are all trying to position themselves as being an alternative to Donald Trump. So I think Donald Trump is in a very good position, and probably he's going to be the nominee for the Republican Party. And I think both Joe Biden and Donald Trump sort of have what I would define as a codependency, meaning that Biden wants to run against Trump. You mentioned age at the top, for example. If you look at the other field with DeSantis and others, they're much younger, and they are talking about an alternative in terms of a generational alternative. So again, I think with the wide open field, that favors Trump even more.
So now you have Mike Pence announcing his run this week, as well as Chris Christie expected to announce. Then you have the governor of North Dakota also. Do you put one of those ahead of the other when it comes to challenging Trump?
No, I think Ron DeSantis right now seems to be the person who would be defined as the most formidable candidate. But I think Chris Christie is the person who is more combative and the person who's not afraid to challenge Trump. And if you've seen so far what has happened, and you may have seen the town hall last night with Nikki Haley, they are criticizing, but it's a kind of subtle way. They're speaking in code. But I think when Chris Christie enters the race, it would be very combative. And it remains to see how much traction he will be able to pick up there based on that.
Dr. Adams, thank you for joining us this morning and providing your insight.
Thank you for having me.